Hi, my name is Lauren. Hi, I'm Lauren. Hi, I'm Lauren.
Hi.
I'm going to be your social worker tonight. So, if you guys could just introduce yourself to begin with.
I'm Jerome.
Jerome.
Mrs. Franklin.
Mrs. Franklin.
Latrice.
Latrice. Is that what you guys would like me to address you by?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me just take quick note of that. Okay, so the purpose of this meeting is to address any family issues you guys are having together. I just want to go over confidentiality with you guys real quick. It is my job to keep everything that we talk about in this room. Nothing will come out of this room. And I ask you guys to do the same for one another. The only way that I will tell anybody about what's going on in our meetings is if one of you say you're going to harm one another, somebody else, or yourselves. Do you guys understand that? Could you guys just write your names down just so that I know? Perfect. Thank you guys. Okay, so I did read your case, so I have a little bit of a background of what's been going on at home. But I think it would be very beneficial to hear from each of your own perspective of what's going on. So I'm going to start with Latrice. If you could tell me what's been going on at home from your perspective.
Well, 2 years ago, Jerome and his little sister Janae started living with us. And ever since then, the house has been insane. Jerome does not listen. Janae, she's fine. She listens. She does what she's supposed to. She does what she's told when she's told. Jerome, he is very defiant. He doesn't listen to anybody.
I do listen.
If we could just let Latrice talk, and then whenever we get to you, you can tell us what's been going on.
He doesn't listen to anybody. He is disrespectful. He's been acting up in school. On top of that, I go to university. And I was living on campus, but ever since Jerome and Janaea started living with us, I had to drop out of university housing so that my mom could save money and also so I could be home to help out with the kids. And I'm very upset about that because I never asked for these kids to start living with us. I don't think it should be my responsibility to be helping out with these kids. My dad doesn't like them being here, and I agree with him.
So, how does it make you feel now that you have to take care of 2 children as a 20-year-old and balancing a college schedule?
It makes me feel very stressed. I didn't ask for these kids.
Mm-hmm.
I never wanted them to start living with us, and all of a sudden, all this baggage was dumped on me, and I don't know what to do with it.
Okay. Mrs. Franklin, could you tell me how everything is at home?
It's, part of the only thing that Latrice and I can agree on is that it's stressful. Seems like there's never enough time in the day. These kids just want to fight. Janaea, poor little girl, she's 5 years old and she's, feels like the outcast. All she sees is everybody fighting. And by the time I get home, I'm too tired to deal with it. And I'm at my wit's end. These kids just need to get along.
Okay. And does that add stress into your life as well?
That is my life.
I understand. Jerome, do you want to tell me how you feel at home?
I just want my mom.
You want your mom? Do you want to do me a favor? You want to draw me your family? Go ahead and draw me what your family looks like. And tell me who you're drawing.
That's me.
That's you?
Mm-hmm. That's my sis. That's mommy. That's daddy.
Okay. So what is this above your father's head?
Daddy died a couple of years ago.
Did he? I'm very sorry to hear that you lost your father at such a young age. So where's Mrs. Franklin and Latrice?
Lay off the paper.
And why is that?
Because I don't consider them my family yet. I know them like that's my aunt and she's my cousin, but that's they want me to be this their son. It feels like I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not.
Do you wish you could be with your mom?
Yeah, all the time.
Mm-hmm.
She's only there
So how much do you get to see your mom?
Like, well, she's only there like a couple hours, like a day every like 3 days or something. Like she'll stop in, but like she doesn't like tuck me in. She doesn't wake me up.
So how do you feel whenever your mom's around?
I feel better. Like I feel like everything was the same before Dad died.
Mm-hmm. And what about whenever you're at your aunt's house?
Well, I mean, we've always been like going to my aunt's house, but like it doesn't feel like home.
Okay. Okay. So can I keep this drawing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, Mrs. Franklin, if you could tell me, how often do you allow Jerome and Janaea to see their mother?
Well, that's really not up to me. You know, back when they were living with her full time, it was like they came and saw me hardly ever. And now he's really just with me all the time. He probably only sees his mom, you know, maybe once a week, sometimes twice a week.
Right.
She's always off doing something. Sometimes she misses visitation with them, and just whenever she feels like showing up.
And how does that make you feel whenever your mom doesn't come to see you?
She has stuff to do.
She has stuff to do. And you understand that she can't come and
she's
see you?
busy. She's always been busy.
Mm-hmm. And now what about whenever your aunt is at work and she's busy? Are you understanding of that as well?
Yeah, I know she's busy, but like not as busy as my mom. She's gone more than Mrs. Franklin is. Aunt, whatever.
And what about Latrice? How do you get along with Latrice?
She always yells at me. Like I literally do nothing, and she yells at me. Like I just literally exist, and she's just.
The only reason I get so upset is because you do not do what you're supposed to do. You've been getting in fights at school.
I always do what
Okay.
I'm supposed to
You've
do.
been failing your classes.
Guys, why don't we, could you guys switch seats? And
Oh my goodness.
what we're gonna do, just for a couple minutes, is we're gonna role play an argument that you guys last had. Does that sound okay?
Good luck. You can get a whole lot more out of these kids than you're expecting.
So, do you guys wanna switch seats? Okay, so you guys are gonna face each other. What I want you to do is I want you to act out something that has happened in the past, more recently, an argument between the two of you.
So why did you miss all your homework last night?
I was waiting for mommy to come get me.
You were sitting there playing video games. You
I
didn't
was
get anything done.
I was waiting for mom. I
And
didn't know
that's
what
more
time
important
she
than your
was
schoolwork?
coming. It's my mom.
But your school is still very important. You're not going to get a job if you fail all your classes.
I guess. I don't know. You don't have to yell at me for everything though.
Well, why can't you just be more like Janaea? She listens. She does what she's supposed to do.
But I'm not Janaea.
But you can be like her. You came from the same mom, didn't you? Can't you guys act alike?
So I think that right now what I'm getting from this is, Latrice, you're forcing Janaea's actions and how she acts on Jerome. And they're two different people. They both have their own personalities, their own hobbies. And I don't think that it's right for you to push that onto Jerome. So could we just, let's leave Janaea out of this and let's just focus on the two of you guys.
I don't know any other way to put this but to say that I'm not okay with you being here. I was very happy before you came along.
I was very happy before I came here also. So I don't want to be here either.
Yeah, well, according to the court, you have no choice. So I guess that's something we're both going to have to deal with. Doesn't mean I have to like it.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to use what's called iMessages. So what I want you to do is Latrice, I want you to tell Jerome how you feel when he's around.
I feel very stressed when you're around. I feel like you don't listen. I feel like I have to be a second mom constantly. I feel upset when I'm the one who has to answer calls from your school, from your guidance counselor saying that you're having all these behavioral issues. I'm not even your mother. I'm not even your legal guardian. I have my own life to deal with. I'm young. I'm 20
Well, who
years old.
says you have to do that anyway? Who says? Why do you have to do that? I'm not endorsing you at all.
Yeah, but my mother is, so I guess that's something we're gonna have to deal with.
So now, Jerome, you do the same thing, use iMessages, but this time, let's let you just speak and Latrice, you just listen.
Well, I feel like I'm not even wanted all the time. Like, not just by you, but like my Aunt Jess, like I don't feel wanted ever. And like, so what's the point of listening to you guys when you guys aren't even my parents, you know? Like I don't know. Schooling is not important to me at all. Like I don't really like. There's no point if like you know.
So do you think that maybe if you lived with your mom at some point in life when that is possible again, you would feel like differently about school?
Mom never went to school. Why do I have to?
Mrs. Franklin, if you could use iMessages as well and tell me how it felt watching these two argue here.
I feel the same as I always do with them. I feel that Latrice is trying to be the parent when I'm the one that pays the bills. I feel that Jerome, you know, I feel sad because Jerome doesn't even realize what I'm trying to do to take care of him. You know, I feel that these kids just, it's like they'll never get along. It stresses me out.
Okay, so I understand that each of you are feeling a little bit stressed and it's affecting personal things that are happening in your individual life. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about a goal together. So I want each of you to tell me something, what I call a miracle question. Tell me what the perfect life would look like for you. Mrs. Franklin?
Perfect life would just be, you know, not having to work 2 jobs to pay for these kids, not having to have my kid be mad at me and then my nephew be mad at me. Even Janaea, you know, poor little girl, she's sad every day because she feels alone. And there's nothing I can do about it. I have to take care of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess if there was a miracle, the perfect life would just be everybody being comfortable living together.
Okay, so you just want happiness for everybody. Okay. Jerome, what about you?
I want my mom. I want me and my sister to be with my mom again. I want my dad to be here again. I don't want to live with my aunt anymore. I don't want to go to school anymore.
Okay. So what about if, being that you do live with your aunt and cousin, what would the best life look like living in that home?
If Latrice wasn't up my butt all the time about everything, especially school.
Okay. And then Latrice, what about you?
I mean, I would like it to just be my mom, my dad, and me again. I would like my parents to get back together. I would like it so that I didn't have to take care of children that I didn't birth or ask for.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to go back to college, live on campus, and live the campus life instead of having to commute and drive half an hour every day to go to school because I have to be home to help take care of these kids and because my mom has to spend all this money on these kids. I used to be the apple of her eye. I used to be her only responsibility, and then these other kids came along and all of a sudden it's all about them now.
Okay.
I would just like my family to be together again and to be able to do what I want to do and be able to live like a 20-year-old college student.
Okay. So you just want to go back and live up at school and not have added on stressors in your life. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now what I want to do is we're going to make a goal for each other. For next week, whenever you guys come in, we're going to meet once a week for about 8 to 12 weeks, okay? So for next week, if you guys could just spend 1 hour with one another, have a family dinner together, play some board games, maybe go to the park and play, something that you guys can bond together. 1 hour, it's not a lot, and then I want you guys to come back. You guys are going to tell me about what you did and how it made you feel. Do you think you could all do that?
We could try.
I'll try.
I'll
Okay.
go to the park.
Okay.
I'll go to the park.
Okay, great. Okay, so it seems like we're making a little bit of progress already. You guys are agreeing on something. Okay? Alright, so then I'll see you guys next week, and then we'll go over our goal again, and you guys can each tell me how that made you feel. Alright?
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you guys for coming in. Thank you.
Thank you.
Woo! What the heck?